Philadelphia! Hi. I just wanted to jump in here real quick on a Wednesday afternoon. And guess what? There's no drama involved in this one. This is actually a fun one because it's not on the field. Jeffery Lurie has officially sold part of the Philadelphia Eagles to two family investment groups, which you could not do in the NFL. It had to stay like within the same ownership group, or I can't exactly remember the rules, but you were never allowed to have investment firms or VCs come in and, give you an influx of cash when you needed it. I don't think the Eagles are going poor by any means because they were evaluated at $8.3 billion in this deal, and Jeffery Lurie is giving up 8% of that. So that means millions of dollars are coming into the Philadelphia Eagles to use on what exactly? And that sparked a discussion immediately on Twitter, which you can follow me at John Barchard, at Bell and the Bird, on pretty much every platform that is out there. You can find me there. What would the Eagles use this money for? And everyone jumped on renovations, 100%, because it needs it. The World Cup is coming in 2026. They are going to be hosting it, so there is a crap load that needs to happen on the concourses, and a lot of people echoed that when I started chatting about it. But do you believe right now, one, that the Linc is kind of outdated in terms of experience? Is it holding you back from going? Personally, like, the tailgating is always 100% on fire, so I'll always go down for that, and I have done that this season. But I don't feel the need to pay the price point for what the stadium experience gives me. I'd much rather hang out and watch them on TV, not because of sightlines or anything. Like, there's just not a lot of technological advanced stuff that you need in today's day and age, whether you think it's a distraction or it's a fantasy thing or simply just wanting to get videos out from the stadium. I think that is a humongous problem in terms of how we view games and want to experience games and want to share shit with our friends. Yes, it is very backdated in that. And it's unfortunate, too, because when this was built, it was flawless, man. Everyone, and still, for the most part, everyone is excited to go down there. But you're talking about this stadium was built 3 years before the iPhone not only came out, but got super, super popular. And I don't think anyone really foresaw that as a way to, like, oh, we need to be aware of this with our football team. Like, no one was really thinking that way. And now you can't even get into the Linc without an iPhone or any NFL stadium because paper tickets are pretty much done, I think, unless you're a season ticket holder. And you can correct me on that. So I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything, but absolutely it needs renovations. Would you go as far as the Linc is so outdated that, yes, the Philadelphia Eagles do need a stadium? And if you're thinking in that wavelength, I'm with you too. I think it is past the point or giving that shelf life, and a lot of that is happening in the city, right? Like, there's a huge discussion going on right now with the Philadelphia 76ers, and in my opinion, they are trying to fuck up the town. And that's for another show and podcast, and feel free to chime in on that too. But it's another reason why I hate the Washington Commanders. It's also why I want to yell at Josh Harris all the time, and I hope they fail miserably once he stepped out and bought the Commanders as well for a bunch of different reasons. The only really thing that I want in the next Eagles stadium is it to either hold 80,000 people or feel like 80,000 people are there. That has been my one major complaint. Actually, going back from like the Vet to the Linc, it didn't sound as nasty and as loud as what is actually happening in those stands. Because if you're ever in the press box at Lincoln Financial Field, you're going to hear everything. The shakes, the roars, the loudness of the crowd, like, oh my God, like, it is deafening, and you can tell that everybody's into it. But once it gets down to the field, it almost gets like fainter and fainter. And I know we always think of like Seattle Stadium and how that's done. I think that that's what's next. I want to feel, see, or actually have 80,000 fans in there to create that 12th man effect, because there's no other city that deserves that more than here. And I have seen a bunch of other people kind of stick in on Twitter at John Barchard. Follow me there. That's where we're having a lot of this discussion. Like, what would you want to see in an Eagles stadium? And I think a lot of people have some great points, but would you go as far as, and I think this is going to be the ultimate debate here, do the Philadelphia Eagles deserve to be put in a dome, or a dome that you can at least open and close? I don't think I ever want to see a dome in Philly just because opening day is so special and that sunshine and everything just hitting right. But I would like the ability to close that stuff up in October, November, December when it feels like it's necessary, because this team is just like fast. It should be in a controlled environment as much as possible. And I know that makes it really tough for real grass stadiums, and I don't want to deal with that because we've already had enough PTSD with the 2022 Super Bowl. And Turf Man, I still owe you a smack in the old butt, my friend. No one takes care of Sod that way. All that aside, I am in favor of whatever makes those seats warmer in the winter, because I thought I was Mr. Tough Guy, and I probably was in my 20s and 30s when whiskey was like going through my veins and the adrenaline, and I didn't really care what the weather felt like. But after trying several attempts in Chicago, here, New York, Washington, in cold weather environments, I can't really do it anymore. And if you don't have heated seats, or at least a very fast way for me to get a heated beverage while it's out there, it's not as fun during the winter time for me to go down there. So I just want to leave this in here because I'm curious what you think. I would love if you could hit me up on social or jump in the Discord. What do you want to see in the next Eagle Stadium? I think it's going to be very, very interesting, and I know for a fact that the Eagles are going to create something great for the autism community. Personally, one of my ultimate goals is, because it's really tough to take one of my stepsons down there for a game to enjoy it because his anxiety is so high and he's nonverbal at the same time. So that's one of the things I am so looking forward to, is to see what they are going to do for that community to enjoy the game, because they've been doing such a good job with the current stadium, and it is like you just kind of run out of space. You know, it's part of it. When you're doing business for 30 years, you're not going to be able to map everything out. So I would love to get your takes on it. So we'll have plenty more this week. It's a huge week for the Steelers. We're going to be talking to some people in the Discord, and I've got some special guests as well that joined me last night. So I will see you later on this week, and go Birds as always.